my thinking with regards to customizing products, I do not believe that selling a product that you just private label on Amazon is the very, very best way of building a long-term, sustainable e-commerce business anymore. I don't believe that actually is the best strategy anymore. It used to be the case that you could come and find a product like this dog bark color, and then go and find a supplier in China like this, for instance, and just basically private label it. I mean, the private label element here is they just replace that cap for you, with whatever you want to have on it. That's the sum total of the private labeling happening here. So the concept being that you just kind of take an existing product and slap your own logo onto it. I don't think that's the best strategy anymore. That's kind of e-commerce level 1, if you like, e-commerce level 1. I think now what you need to do and not need to think about is how can you customize these products and make them something a lot more unique for the marketplace. That gives you all sorts of advantages, which we'll talk about in a sec, over other people selling in this market. What you'll end up doing if you market like this is you end up competing against other sellers who can do exactly the same thing with this particular product, and it becomes a price war. And that's a terrible situation to find yourself in, where you're in a price war with people who will be able to kick your ass, because typically they can sell directly from, for instance, China in this particular thing. And not only can they sell directly from China and not pay any shipping costs or much more reduced shipping costs, but all their other costs are a lot lower as well, like storage and things like that. It's not a good place to be in. It's not a good strategy to build a long-term business. Better, I believe, to build something that's got a lot more uniqueness to it. So this is still a bark color, still a bark color, but now there's more customization involved with it. We've got this kind of little LED thing at the top. They've got a different coloring here. It just looks like a completely different product, okay? Not a great deal of extra work to do, but sufficient to make you in a marketplace of one, to put you in your own market as far as something like that goes, okay? So that's kind of level 2 for me. I think this is where you need to be thinking about your business as a way of actually getting your business to have a sustainable competitive advantage. So that's done with getting these areas things. Typically that's done with customized injection molded plastics. That's typically what that is. Cost for that, depending on where you get that done and how many of them you get done and how big the particular piece of plastic you're getting molded is going to cost you somewhere between $1,000 and $5,000, okay? Somewhere between those points, depending on what you get doing. And the good thing about that is there's a price barrier to entry. Now that sounds like hell, really. Like I've got to pay a lot more money to get into that. But what it does for you is it puts a barrier between your product and just some Joe Schmo who's thinking about getting into the same market, because there's a barrier now to doing that versus this, zero barriers. They just sell the same thing. At least here, there's a barrier to actually competing with you. They've also got to go and spend the money to get the injection molding done, okay? So I think that's a good thing to do. As far as people who can do this for you, this is GLN. These are super cool. I've used these for one of my own products. So the good thing I like about these is these are in Portugal, as it happens. So they're great for Europe, but they're also in Mexico as well. So they're great for America. And you're getting your products created in America, selling in America, but created in Mexico is a very, very cool thing to do, because you'll save a ton of money on your shipping costs, okay? Anyway, that's GLN.PT. This is Protolabs. These are super cool. These are all over the place, okay? So they're all in Europe, they're all in the UK, They ain't in Australia, which sucks, I know, but they're also in the USA. They're in Canada as well, I think. These will do really custom stuff. It's almost like they're 3D printing it. So you can get some really sexy stuff made and really make your stuff stand out when it comes to actually selling something unique. They're very, very good. Protolabs. Murray Plastics. These are in, I want to say they're in Georgia. Anyway, they're in America. I think it's Georgia, but they're definitely in America. America. Very, very cool as well. These are very, very cheap, which is, that's good. But their MOQ is quite high, but they are very, very cheap to get them done. Okay. So cheap, but MOQ is high. And then this is Zeta Mold. These are in China. Guangzhou, I think. But anyway, so if you're in Australia, this is probably who you would get to do the work. Okay. You'd get these guys to do the work. Just 1 second. Get rid of that. Very, very cool. So Zeta Mold, and I've used these guys too. These do heaps and heaps and heaps of the turnkey manufacturing, custom molding, stuff like that for a lot of really big brands selling, not just on Amazon, but also in Australia, in some big companies in Australia as well. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to talk about with this is by getting that done, that also gives you access to getting it patented. Now, a patent is a really good idea because it's massive, massive protection. If you get your stuff patented, it enables you to have something which is very, very protected. Somebody is very, very keen to talk to me on my phone. But it means you've got another level of barrier to entry, okay, which is exactly what you want. So patent can be expensive if you're looking to patent in the USA, but the better way of approaching it is to patent in China and use that patent to then fight people no matter where they go. And for most part, when somebody gets a cease and desist for a patent related thing, you probably want the patent to be registered in China to help you fight it in China, where it'll cost you around about $300 to register a patent in China versus, 10, 15,000 US dollars in the USA. So massive difference. For any patent and related things like trademarks and things like that, you want to talk to Kate Sun. That's Kate right there. She is a superstar. She does all of my IP protection. She does all of it for me. Okay, that's who I use. So that ought to be a fantastic recommendation for her. And this is a super good deal as well.
Hey there, this is Neil-Asher from the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. I want to say a big thank you for watching this video. That video actually was from the regular Monday night Q&A session, excuse me, that I have with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. Over 2,500 of us now, and growing, by the way. We're the fastest growing community of e-commerce entrepreneurs right here in Australia, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million. Now, if you'd like to find out more about what we do at the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs and get yourself off there and come and join us, all you need to do is go to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au. AussieOnlineEntrepreneurs.com.au. The link for that, by the way, is underneath this video, and I will welcome you with open arms and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Till then, have a good one. Bye.